Roger, Command. Initiating launch pre-check. Give me a go, no-go. Booster.
Go.
Retro.
Go.
Fido.
Go.
Mystery.
Go.
Leyline guidance.
Go.
Bashar.
Go.
Yahoo Answers.
Go.
Spring Hill Jack.
Titties.
Launch control, this is Chicago. We are go for launch. Hey, everybody. I'm David Flora.
And I'm David Stecco.
And this is Blurry Photos.
So blurry, so photos.
You are launched into the stratosphere.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome. Hey.
See, we do that checklist to ensure your safety as well as ours.
Thought we'd let you in on it this time.
Yep,
you know,
we care about you.
Little behind the scenes action. Happens every time.
Mm-hmm.
We got a real fun show for you here.
Oh, man, do we ever?
I mean, we say that every week. This time we mean it.
Starting today, we're done lying to you about the quality of our endeavors.
Yeah. Got some good stuff in this one. It's chock full of all kinds of mystery and unknown and unexplainable.
Acoustic mysteries.
Yeah, that's right. This episode, we're going to be bringing you all kinds of strange sounds.
Yeah. And I know that seems kind of broad, just strange sounds. We're going to go through every weird thing anyone's ever heard. Wrong. These are very precise, recorded by scientists sounds that no one knows the source of.
Yep. And are occurring right now, pretty much. Like, at least, if not right now, within the past few decades.
Yep.
This is recent sounds. I mean, they didn't have very good recording equipment back Stone Age stuff. So
no, they just threw rocks in the lake and nothing was gathered. Idiots. You know what? Can we just pick on how dumb people were in history instead for like an hour?
Okay. All right. This episode, Stupid People Through History. We're going to be taking a look at the following sounds. Mm-hmm. The bloop. Mist poofers, the slowdown sound,
the Alabama handshake,
Saturn's sounds, the wow signal, mystery booms, and mystery trumpet sounds,
and the Escutcheon's Endeavor incident.
These are
everything I've said. I've made up. Just in case anyone didn't think.
I'm pretty sure everything I've said has been made up too.
Everyone heard the Alabama handshake.
So these are the names that have been associated with the types of sounds that we're going to go through, and some of them you may be familiar with, and some of them hopefully are new, and you might learn something from this. Dave,
some of them you may have actually heard yourself.
That's true, which would be very exciting.
Pretty legit.
Mm-hmm. Dave, let's start going through this monster of a list.
Now wait, I don't want to interrupt you.
You just did,
but it's so. Well, I didn't want to, but I had to.
Okay.
It's like when I cut the brake lines in your car, okay?
Right.
I didn't want to do that, but you forced me to. I had to.
Fair enough.
It's just too hot in here, and I think I'd like to take a dip in the ocean to start this off.
I think it'd be a good call. Go to the South Pacific.
Okay.
And we're going to investigate the bloop.
Bloop.
Speaking of summer, in the summer of 1997, NOAA, the U.S. National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, detected an ultra-low frequency underwater sound on hydrophones at listening stations over 5,000 kilometers apart.
So it was a very loud sound.
Yes, underwater. The stations are part of the Equatorial Pacific Ocean Autonomous Hydrophone Array, or for short.
Or Cthulhu, for short.
Here's what they recorded. I'm going to play a sound, a clip of this. So here's what they recorded. So there've been a few suggestions as to what that was.
Yeah. Now at first, and let's play it one more time. Because I want people to listen to hear this. There's actually two sounds. There's the first sound, and then there's a little doot, like a second afterwards. So let's play it one more time.
Okay.
Did you get that flavor? Mm-hmm. Did you sniff it? Mm-hmm. That's interesting. What is that? And again, it seems on these hydrophones to just kind of be a quiet background noise. It was picked up on hydrophones 5,000 kilometers apart from each other.
Right. That's about 3,100 miles.
Yeah.
For you.
So that's one microphone in LA and another microphone in New York City, and they both heard the same sound.
Right. What do you think it sounds like?
I mean, the name kind of says it all.
Just a bloop?
How it would generate that much sound, I don't know, but it does. It just sounds like a large bubble of air.
Yeah.
Just like bloop.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like a friggin' fart. Is what it sounds like. Right? It sounds like somebody could replicate this easily in their bathtub.
My freaking uncle does this every day. You got Noah beating his door out? Come on.
We call him Mikey the Blue. Stagucci.
Stagooch, get out of that pool.
Get out of there.
You're fucking disgusting.
Wait, why are the kids all running? Mikey.
Mikey the
The
Blue.
bloop is at it again.
Stagooch. It does it. It's not a harsh impact style sound.
Yeah.
It's
Well, here's the deal. The sound that we played, it's sped up 16 times so that you get that sound. It's actually 16 times slower than that, so it's more like a rumbling sound.
oh.
But something to do with converting it into, stuff that we can hear, as opposed to the ultra low frequency that it actually happened. It turns it into, this.
Well, that night, I mean, I almost wonder if we would hear it if it were.
I don't think you would.
Yeah, if that that sound was 3 seconds, you multiply that by 16, and then are you just going to be able to consistently hear that difference between that? And you heard like the background sound that of the ocean, that kind of almost like a static hiss.
Yeah.
If
you let's try to play it at its normal. So there have been a few suggestions as to what it was, and they include such things as geophysical, could be an underwater volcano or an earthquake, could be anthropogenic, which means ships or maybe guns, man-made artillery, military type stuff too, weather, storms, wind, waves, or one of the most popular, something organic. Something living, an animal of some type that's huge.
Yeah.
Friggin' huge.
And there is a shockingly small amount known about especially our deep oceans.
Oh, man. I've got that there's, 95% of the oceans have not been explored?
Yeah.
Somebody has estimated that?
It's tough to get down there. You're not good at it. And once you can get down there, you can't see anything.
Yeah.
It's an unknown area. That's totally possible. I'll say this, like I even recant my previous statement, because when you hear the bloop played in
its true form,
it sounds like a long stressing sound. It sounds like almost when you see like Titanic, and it hits something, you hear that of like metal groaning.
Yeah, I remember hearing that.
That structural sound.
Oh, it scared me. I've said too much.
Never let go, Jack.
Click.
Yeah. Now it's my podcast.
It's actually me, Mikey the Blue.
Welcome to the Bloopcast. Today we'll be talking to...
Hey, sorry, you guys.
We're having fun, but seriously... Oh, man. Okay, we're never going to do Mikey the Blue podcast.
And I hope you heard the asterisk after never.
Sorry, Candy
Anyway.
Chat, you just got moved down the bench.
The Bloopcast.
But no, like it has that long, sustained, like structural heaving sound to me. I don't,
That's interesting. The animal origin theory was popularized in articles after that, after it was heard, after it was released. People got a hold of it and stuff, and people started to freak out, thinking that, this was some huge megafauna that was in the ocean and going to eat the children of tomorrow. But
today,
people said, well, is it a giant squid? Is it the Kraken? Is it a huge whale that hasn't been discovered? What is this? What animal could it be? There's been a debate about it. Scientists, some scientists saying, it's got to be animal in origin. Some scientists are like, no, there's nothing that can make that much sound.
Yeah.
Turns out it's extremely likely that the sound is from an ice quake, what they call an ice quake, which is the cracking and breaking up of sea ice and glaciers.
That makes sense to me. And I was thinking to myself, if it was biological in nature, you would hear it more.
Yeah, you would hope.
Yeah.
I mean, they've had those things out there, but this was recorded in 97, so...
Yeah.
Well, here, I've got an example of the sound of an ice quake.
Oh, sweet.
So here we go.
Oh, no, Flora, you f***ed it up. That's the Swedish metal band Icequake. Can we actually just play the sound of an Icequake?
Sorry, I mean, they're right next to each other in my playlist, so... All right, yeah, we'll go there. They sound sort of similar, I can see, but again, the sound they're typically played at is about 16 times normal speed.
Yeah.
So that's the going theory. That's the front runner for what it is. Of course, now it's only about 99% certain that it's an ice quake.
Well, so you're saying there's a chance?
I mean, the sound was traced to about 1,700 kilometers from the fictional sunken city of R'lyeh, which is the prison of one Cthulhu.
Yeah, and we already need Ken Hite back. We instantly need him back on the podcast.
Right. So it could be a Cthulhu fart. He's sleeping.
Yeah.
You shift and get some gas out and let out. But anyway, on the heels of the bloop comes what's called the slowdown sound.
Yeah.
Now, this was recorded by NOAA on May 19th, 1997. So this was actually before the bloop. And it was in the Pacific Ocean.
Flora, everybody hates prequels.
You're going to like this. No, listen. Here's how it starts.
Looked with the bloop. Now we're going to say, where'd the bloop come from? Where's the bloop's parents? How did the bloop get to where it was supposed to be blooping? We're going to fill it all in, see?
And then we're going to add bloopers at the end.
Jesus.
What? Anyway, it was recorded with the same hydrophonic array as the bloop. It decreases in frequency over the span of 7 minutes, but sped up to the 16 times sound
that we've become accustomed to,
that we know and love. This is what it sounds like. So, what do you think? Could be organic? Could be extraterrestrial, maybe? Some kind of spacecraft that's under the water coming to our rest? What do you think?
I think this one, I mean, I don't want icebergs to be the damned sandhill crane of acoustic
sound.
Mysteries, but this one, again, it sounds like, if we're thinking icebergs, it's running into something, losing momentum, or grinding up against something.
Yeah. That's what they think it is. They think it's most likely an iceberg that's running aground somewhere or running up on something.
Running up on them. Yeah.
Not saying that the sounds are connected. They could be, but they would probably have to be in reverse order for them to make any sense of being connected. One broke off, caused the bloop, and then ran aground.
Are you saying that when listened to reversed, they make more sense? Interesting. P.S. I've taken crazy pills.
So that's a couple of the interesting sounds from the ocean. You got another one, don't you?
Yeah, I've got one that I think is really interesting called upsweep. And I'll tell you this right now. This one is a little bit louder, so if you're listening to this, go ahead and dial whatever you listen to down just a few
I'll try to
pegs.
help out too in post.
Okay. Yeah, see we care about you.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is the upsweep sound. It was recorded in August for the first time. It was recorded in 1991 using the SOSUS sound surveillance system.
The Sammy Sosa sounds.
That's right. Doesn't count. You blew it. Could have had it. You blew it. And which
was discounted for microphone enhancing drugs later.
That's right. Yeah, it got kicked out of the microphone league. Also, it was found that it was corking its microphones. Science has been very, very good to me. So yeah, here's the upsweep sound. Now, that sound that wasn't a loop that you heard. It is repetitive like that. Boop. It sounds like an alarm. It sounds like a Star Trek core breach or something. I'm a nerd.
There's a lot of distortion in there too.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of background noise, and I don't know how much work they had to do to bring that sound up. So it sounds like it may have been recorded somewhat faintly, and then all that noise you're hearing is just what in our other recordings have just been that.
Yeah.
Here's the reason why I think it's so interesting, is that it's been recorded throughout the Pacific, and it is seasonal. It's still happening. As a matter of fact, it's sourced at approximately 54 degrees south latitude by 140 degrees west longitude, which, I mean, they have an area in which it is. They've been able to kind of figure that out. And despite over 20 years of hearing this, it happens, it's seasonal. They hear it in the springtime. They hear it in the fall. They still don't know exactly what's doing it. Now, the area that they're recording this in is very seismically active. But just the fact that it is repetitive is fascinating to me.
And seasonal. The seasonal thing is...
Yeah, it's seasonal. Now, they were saying that the overall level of it has been declining. I mean, the overall noise that it makes. But it has been consistently recorded by the same autonomous hydrophone array that we've been talking about with the other sounds too. So this sound has been noticed from the moment they put a microphone in the water, but they still don't know what it is. Now, this is one that I think has a very good chance of being biological.
You think it could be migrating whales or something?
I think it could be a mating call of sorts. It keeps happening in an area that has volcanic activity, which means there might be ocean vents.
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily that the creatures themselves are
doing it.
Yeah, they are. What's the word I'm looking for? Chemosynthetic. They're not using the chemicals.
My next
guess. You beat me. But if there is a food source around those vents, it could be that some deep water migrating creature goes there to feed and mate. Yeah. Now, I haven't seen that anywhere. I made that up just now. That's my theory. And if you find it somewhere else,
good as
let me know so that I can sue them.
Yeah.
For money.
It sounds as good as core breach, though.
Yeah. Either that or there's a problem with the dilithium chamber.
Now, is this sound sped up as well? Is it 16 times normal speed?
It is sped up. It's at 20 times the original speed.
So it actually would sound like... something like that, right? Yeah. Artist rendition?
So
interesting.
Yeah, I love the upsweep sound. I think that's cool. I think that it's amazing that for 20 years we've been hearing it and still no idea. They seem very calm about that.
Yeah, that's true.
They're like, yeah, still haven't figured it out. So anyway, that's the upsweep sound.
Anyway, artificial sweeteners.
You guys want to see some pictures of stingrays? We're NOAA. We got tons of them.
Yeah, I love the names that go along with these.
Yeah.
They sound like racehorses.
They do.
And Bloop comes on the inside, followed by Upsweep, who is...
Two lengths behind Julia is coming around the third bend.
And down the stretch they come. Here comes Slow Down Sound. Slow Down Sound wins it over Upsweep by a nose. Doesn't it, though? I mean,
yeah.
I guess
Slow Down takes it. It's a victory for irony.
We all win today. The trifecta.
Yeah.
Trifecta of irony. Great. Let's go on. Let's move out of the unknown depths of the ocean, and let's move to the unknown depths of space.
That, by the way, that's the sound of space.
That's Trollolo in space.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I apologize. You had a month of that song. You can't have any more.
I don't know that you can get enough of that.
Yeah, man.
I really don't.
It does put little hooks in your brain.
In July of 2004, the Cassini spacecraft recorded this radio wave, which has been converted into the human audio range. And actually, before that, in 2003, it recorded this sound. So, both of these have been sped up.
Yeah.
Also.
Well, that second one is honestly what they had captured is probably like a transmission of Plan 9 from outer space. Because that is such a classic 60s era space, flying saucer sound.
Right.
Two teenagers are trying to make out on a beach, and all of a sudden that sound happens, and then there's a gorilla with a metal head chasing them.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean...
Officer, Daisy's gone, and I just made her my best gal. Yeah, in that first one. Now this is an important thing. The source of these radio waves is not a mystery. The source is us. We shot these radio waves through the rings in order to learn things. And
it's weird because there are some theories out there saying that all planets naturally give off radio signals, which I don't think that's a theory. I think that's actually fact.
Right.
And some people are saying that this actually is emanating from Saturn. Now I've seen that as well. So already you've got kind of a wait a minute, but you said
right
kind of thing going on.
And if you are of a mind to say there is an attempt to cover up this information,
you're welcome to the party too.
Yeah, and then of course they'd say, "Oh no, we made these radio signals. We just wanted to find out what they came out like."
Yeah. And
that's interesting. I mean, it's like hitting a large drum to see what the sound is that comes back out of it. So it's not as though the radio signal, the radio waves that were fired at these rings didn't make this noise. If you were to listen to them before they impacted, they wouldn't make this sound.
Now, they did also have, on the Cassini, they had something that could capture the radio signals as well. And apparently Saturn's natural radio signals are particularly intense.
Yeah.
And also ever-changing, which is also a curiosity.
And I think there are plenty of very plausible explanations for that. I mean, each planet has a very unique makeup. Saturn is a large gaseous planet with this really, really dense series of rings around it. I mean, most planets have rings. They're just very light or barely noticeable, but Saturn has this very powerful set of rings. These big swinging rings. Not to mention several moons. And you're going to get, each planet will have a very unique radio signature, and maybe this one's just noisier than others.
Yeah. You can find Jupiter Sounds as well.
Which was the follow-up to the Beach Boys experimental album, Pet Sounds.
Right. Jupiter Sounds. Didn't go so well. Take me to Europa. So some scientists have said it's activity within the magnetosphere of Saturn. In particular, Saturn kilometric radiation, which they call SKR, and Saturn electrostatic discharges, which they call SED. The atmosphere and environment play a role in the oscillating tones, so they have postulated. But that hasn't stopped hordes of people saying that this is actually alien chatter and speech patterns, maybe even a warning.
Oh, Saturn, the prison planet.
So
maybe no other planet has rings, and they were like, listen, we're going to put rings on this planet, then everyone will know something's going on with this planet.
Yeah. I don't know.
Wrong. False. You f***ed it up. We don't know.
We still don't know. Or the government does, and they don't want to tell us. Oh. I think that's what everybody's trying to get at, who are clamoring for disclosure and for the Cassini spacecraft radio signals in particular to be disclosed as what they really are. Alien warnings. People of Earth.
People of Earth.
Your government is deceiving you.
We are the Saturnites.
Rise up.
Don't listen to Io. They're dicks. Titan's pretty cool, I guess.
Tell Bashar we said hey.
How's that transformation coming along?
Are you all dolphins yet?
Don't worry. You'll get there. And that's totally possible, but the solar wind by itself, these amazingly highly energetic charged particles pouring out of the sun, they hit the magnetosphere of the Earth. It's how we get the aurora borealis, which creates its own radio signals. You can listen to those. It's on YouTube.
So it's actually highly possible.
Yeah. And every other planet gets hit. If a planet sees the sun, a planet gets hit by these things.
Yeah.
And so we're not that special and unique. And perhaps another planet has the different makeup of it, or a stronger magnetic field or a larger magnetic field. You're going to get a more pronounced radio signal off of that. Yeah. It just happens. That's
the music of the heavenly spheres, right?
That's right. Music of the spheres.
Hey, Mikey, get over here and listen to me. I got a sphere for you.
I got some music for these spheres over here.
I worked a whole summer perfecting that.
I tried to go down to the boardwalk, make some money. They told me to get the hell out of there. What do you know? What do you know from music, you bastards?
Who's these mooks? Who do they think they are? So let's go on to a pretty famous one here.
Yeah.
I would say one of the most famous ones on our list. The wow signal.
Yep.
Goes hand in hand with this, really. Named after the initial reaction of astronomer Jerry Amon, the wow signal is a strong narrowband radio signal detected through a SETI project
SETI is the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence.
Right. Through one of their projects at the Big Ear Radio Telescope in Delaware, Ohio, on August 15th, 1977. Lasting a rich 72 seconds, it's arguably the strongest candidate for an alien radio transmission that we got.
Yep. Now, a couple of facts about this is the Big Ear Array is a fixed array, and it uses the rotation of the Earth as a means of sweeping.
Right.
And so the longest it can actually listen to a signal is 72 seconds. That's the longest it can focus on one specific point. So the implication being the signal, it probably went longer than 72 seconds, but that was the most that array. That's the longest that array can focus on one point before the rotation of the Earth pulls it out of alignment.
Right. Longer than 72 seconds, perhaps, but not longer than 24 hours, because when it came back around, nothing.
Right.
And it's never been heard since.
And another interesting thing, there's a couple of weird technical details about the Big Ear Array. It actually is it's a two-part array. And given the way that they transceive data, they don't know which portion of the array. There's two acoustic horns. Yeah, they call them horns. Two acoustic horns. Only one of them heard the sound. They expected the second one to hear it, and it didn't. Now, they don't know which horn got the sound because all the data is mixed together.
Right. At the time, there's no computer analysis. Actually, the data was printed and had to be examined manually by volunteers, which Jerry Amon was, and he circled this anomalous data set and wrote wow.
Right, because
and that's how it got its name.
And when you look at this data set, it has it's a series of letters and numbers because if you assume the background sound to be a 0, 1 through 9 are just magnitudes of noise above that. After you get to 10 again, once you pass 9, they used letters. Now, one of the letters in this thing was U.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this thing is 30 times...
The lowest was like 6, I think.
Right. So even the 6 is making some noise.
Yeah.
So this thing was making at its peak 30 times the amount of background noise. It wasn't heard by the other ear. Mm-hmm. And so, interestingly enough, because they don't know which horn heard the sound, and the 2 horns were pointed at 2 slightly different areas at the time, there's 2 sources to this.
Yeah.
They don't know which it is. It was one or the other. The other horn didn't get it, and no one has heard this sound since, but it was very, very strong.
The point in the sky where it was observed is a pretty much a blank patch of space in the constellation Sagittarius. The Big Ear telescope has since been dismantled, and the land
for lying to us.
Well,
look what you made me do.
It was dismantled and made into a golf course. Actually, that's what's there now, because progress. But to put this into some perspective, going back to how you were saying, if you're having trouble picturing this, imagine a pumpkin.
Yes. Thank you, Flora.
Put a toothpick. Just stick a toothpick
anywhere you want.
Anywhere on it. Now, spin the pumpkin.
Really hard.
Wherever that toothpick is pointing, that's like what this satellite is doing.
Yeah.
So in a straight line out from the tip of that toothpick is the parts of space that this thing was observing, basically.
And when you put it that way, it's kind of impressive that it can look at anything for 72 seconds.
Yeah, well. Also, if you have a pumpkin in the room with a toothpick looking out into the rest of the room in that narrow band, it's mind-boggling.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Like, all right, that's looking into space. That little sliver going out, and that it picks up anything is crazy.
But then when you think about what is still, even that tiny sliver, what is within it, it's like when they pointed the Hubble for like 6 days at nothing.
Yeah.
They found a patch of space with nothing, and they just pointed it at it and just let it sit there. And then they found everything.
Yeah, it's pretty big, you guys.
Yeah, and now, not to slow us down, take the toothpick back out of the pumpkin. No, I don't want to see you get hurt. Don't get hurt.
Yeah.
Don't forget that's there and go to pick it up and hurt yourself. Take the toothpick out now and apologize to the pumpkin and thank you for its sacrifice.
Now hollow it out and put a bunch of grapes in there.
Yeah.
So what could this be? I mean, like we said, it is the best candidate for some kind of alien radio transmission, something that is not generated by us. Could be space debris, could be just more background noise. I mean, every explanation has kind of been shot down for one reason or another.
Yeah, but now there are some really, really tantalizing facts about this. First of all, the signal was on the frequency of 1420 megahertz. And that is very significant because 1400 megahertz is the frequency at which hydrogen emits. And so it was theorized by the scientists at the time that if they were going to get a signal from an intelligence, it would make the most sense for them to use something around 1400 megahertz because they could use hydrogen as a carrier wave, the single most abundant atom in the universe. Mm-hmm. Use that as a carrier, and you would get your signal would go so much further using that. And so they were actually, before they'd even gotten this, they said, well, if we get something, it's probably, we think, because if we were doing this, we would do it around 1400.
Yeah.
Now, so this thing comes in at 1420. It comes in the green zone of what they think an intelligence would use. That also is important because here on Earth, there is a blackout. No one is allowed to broadcast near 1400 because that is exclusively used for scientific research. Not because we're worried about aliens, but for a host of other research purposes. No one is in any nation for any reason is allowed to broadcast at 1400 megahertz.
Yeah. So it's really interesting. And could it be just a one-time space event? Yes, absolutely. It could be something that happened once. It was a flash in the pan in space because in space, anything can happen.
Yeah, I mean,
and does.
Yeah, and let's say for the fun fact, what if it was, and maybe there was just some civilization that said, "Hey, we're gonna just rocket this huge radio pulse. It's not gonna, we're just gonna see how much noise we can make for a second. And we caught it. And they were like, yeah, that was great. Now let's tear it down, build a golf course.
But who, I mean, how far away would that have had to have been, right? You know,
right.
And how could that, if it's just saying, for shiggles, saying that this, you know, is something that happened, somebody just shot out something in space to see, how would they know that it was picked up, too? You know what I mean?
Right, and they never would.
Unless we're thinking about it too three-dimensionally, and we need to cetacean transform.
We absolutely have to. But that's, you know what, season 3, we're going to transform to cetaceans just to give it a shot.
Episode 65.
They're all about raw fish.
And it'll sound great in your ear.
No, the fun thing about this is that the mere concept of SETI receiving a signal and of us sending a signal, to be absolutely clear, it's messages in a bottle.
Yeah.
There's no data being sent back and forth.
And the bottle itself is a pea, and you're throwing it in the ocean.
I mean,
by the way,
take the Northern Star, the light look out your window tonight and look at the Northern Star and know that the light that's shining from that was emitted in the year 1640 something.
Yep.
I mean, they're messages in a bottle. There's no possibility of interactive communication using radio waves. It's just someone going, hey, it's graffiti. I was here. And then they're gone. I mean, I don't know how far away these signal was supposed to have come from.
Sure. Nobody does.
But
we got a signal.
Yeah, they're probably long dead. Statistically speaking, they're probably all dead.
Who knows, man? Could be somebody spinning up their FTL drive and getting away from some Cylons.
Yeah. Or here's a fun science fiction story for you.
We haven't used that by the way. Reference, by the way.
We need to more often. Here's your science fiction story nugget. We're starting a new part on the podcast where I give you an idea. And
also, we're renaming it the podcast.
Shut up! This is our new part on the podcast where it's a broadcasted podcast. Where I give you an idea, you write an entire short story, you send them back to us, we read them, and never mention it again. Here is your suggestion this week. A race of beings sends out radio signals to the universe to say, hey, we're here. And then later on, they develop faster than light drives. They realize most of the other races in the universe are exceedingly hostile. So then they go out in their faster than light drives, faster than the signals they emitted in their own past, to obliterate cultures in the path of their signal. Nice. So that they'll never be discovered. Write it. Make me feel for those characters.
Let's move on. We got a couple more to cover here, and not much time to do it in.
That's enough of that.
Let's spin up our own FTL drives and get ahead of this podcast. Let's talk about some mystery booms in the air.
Oh yeah,
this is something that's been going on. Actually, been going on for a while.
Yeah,
but through the magic of YouTube, it has really kind of gained some
big outbreak in the late 70s.
It's gained some traction in these past few years. A lot of news programs like covering this, because there's not a lot going on in the world.
It's definitely a slow news day story.
We get booms that are heard seemingly from the sky, which rattle houses and shake the ground. They're also called skyquakes, and sometimes they're called mist poofers. That's a Belgian term for it. Mist poofer.
Or air jiggles.
They kind of sound like cannon shots or sonic booms in the air.
Do you know why that is?
Because they're
sonic booms. That's why that is. That's why it seems that way.
But the thing is, they've been reported for centuries. They've been around a long time, which actually they'll predate even artillery.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, there goes my theory. Damn it!
I mean, a lot of them could be sonic booms these days.
I think the huge majority of them would be sonic booms, because if there's one thing the government and especially the military wants you to know is where their supersonic aircraft are at all times. They make that clear to everyone.
It's true. I got in the mail today.
Oh man, I'm tired of getting texts about it.
Yeah, comes with that Title IX catalog.
Oh God.
So these mist poofers in particular. Now it's said that they often occur near large bodies of water. I mean, there's no direct cause that anybody can tell. Now, if it's secret military plane testing, sure, whatever. People call up the local
constabulary.
There's no test flights that are going on around the area that are known to authorities anyway. Yeah, there's no construction going on. There's no mining or blasting in the area. And the thing with these mystery booms, you get them everywhere. They're happening all over the planet. People are reporting these. If you go on YouTube and search for mystery boom, you're going to get dozens of videos. I mean, just a ton.
And like a third of them are actually about mystery booms. 2/3 of them are about bass music.
My rapper's name is Mystery Boom.
Yeah.
DJ Mystery Boom. There's also been people have postulated maybe meteors cause them, exploding, which is an absolutely legitimate explanation.
Ask the swell folks in Russia,
right?
Yeah,
who all have dashboard cameras.
Yeah,
but there are no trails. There's no vapor trails. There's no lights or flashes. Anything that would denote a meteor in any specific area.
If it's a very high atmosphere explosion, maybe of an icy or gaseous, like a comet part. Maybe you don't see that. I don't know.
Could be,
because the one that they just had in Russia, that was iron.
Oh, which lasted a while.
Yeah,
that's how it got so close, right?
So maybe it's just a very high atmospheric. It gets superheated. It's ice. It just kapow.
Yeah, I mean that stuff does it in your glass when you pour the bourbon in.
Right.
So, people said maybe gas escaping through vents in the ground or underwater even.
Little tectonic shifts, just a little kirk.
Yeah, seismic activity, which would explain some of the water, being by water. People and communities hear this thing. Distant thunder, even traveling sound of thunder rolling across the old Oklahoma plains. Solar magnetic resonance, I've even heard could be a cause.
I think we're going to get to pin that on something else.
Well, the thing with it is it remains unexplained.
Yeah.
Ultimately, there are a bunch of booms going on, which we don't really know what's causing it. I'll tell you what, one of the explanations that holds the most water for me, not fracking per se.
I was thinking about that. But maybe in a natural fracking, if water is seeping into a fissure or something and creating...
It cracks the stuff apart. But these days, maybe not fracking, but maybe silica mining. I've seen it even postulated that frac sand is needed for hydraulic fracturing, and sandstone is exploded for that. People mine for that, and they use demolitions. Could be blasts, because that stuff is not as well monitored as straight-up fracking.
Yep.
It's a lot of times it's even illegal, the stuff that's going on, the mining for that stuff, and people are saying that frac sand is almost as good as gold these days with the way stuff's headed.
I love frac sand.
Now, that obviously, again, falls apart if you're going back with the centuries. The reports of this happening for many, many years. People weren't fracking back then that I know
All them
of.
kids fracking with their rock and roll music and their fast cars. I ain't got no times for it.
But ultimately, we don't know.
Yeah. And you know what? I am very comfortable and enjoy mysteries we don't have the answers to.
I have heard loud, clanging, booming sounds here in Chicago many a night, many a day.
Yeah.
I've been here for a while, and I've heard them. It's a little disconcerting, but I always just think, well, that's somebody dropped a car at the old recycling facility or something, or it's the landfill dropping a big load of junk.
Right. A drunken dump truck driving into a building. I mean, like... There's no shortage of explanations in Chicago for this kind of crap.
Yeah, it's the expectations of the Cubs season. Boom. Ow, burn. Oh man, hey, do you have any aloe? So that's the mystery booms, which leads us into one of the most fun and mysterious parts here.
Oh man, this is my favorite.
The hums and trumpets sounds in the air.
This is like a movie sound effect. This is like some J.J. Abrams stuff.
You know the movie trailers that are coming out these days? They all have the same f***ing music. That
yeah. Yep.
It started, I think, with Dark Knight. Kept going into Inception. Inception was the thing that really... And now every movie trailer has this f***ing sound in it.
Wow.
I hate it.
I can tell you are racking up beeps like nobody's business. I guess it's free reign. I guess we're probably not going to beep them. Your fucking face, you fucking fucker. Fuckity fuck. It's okay to say fuck because Flora can fucking say fuck. Fucking Flora, fuckity fuck sauce, fuck on toast.
So what do we have for what do we have for these, Dave? You want to tell us about hums and trumpets?
Oh man, I love this because if you put in sky sounds or trumpet sounds from the sky into YouTube, you'll get 1,000 of these things.
Yeah, and most of them are pretty really haunting.
Very haunting. And here's the thing. A lot of them happened in the month of January 2012, but they're more than that. But a lot of them in like Costa Rica, Argentina, Kiev, Canada. A lot of them like outside of Manitoba,
Windsor,
Ontario. Just all over the planet. There's a great video of a guy in Long Island. You hear this fucking sound? What is this? I can't. Hey, what is this? This is fucking crazy.
It's such a great.
Oh man, it's awesome.
The best.
Yeah, it is.
This is happening in Long Island right now. I don't know what the this is.
It's awesome, but
hey, did you hear this? Mikey the Blue, get over here. Are you doing this?
This is the biggest fart you ever made, Mikey. It's amazing, and it is the same sound everywhere.
So weird.
And
let's let me see. I'm going to try to find a sample of this. I'll play you an example right now.
Yeah. You know what it reminds me of is like, again, movie sounds, War of the Worlds, Cloverfield, that distant, what is that noise that people are like, what is that? And then there's like a shish and everything shakes and they're like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah.
And you hear that, like.
Yep. Big mechanical something or another.
Right. That trumpeting sound, it's very primally frightening.
Yeah.
It's a low frequency sound. And no one knows what's doing it. And there's some of the videos, they're just middle of the night. Some of them are clear sky during the day.
Yep.
There's just no explanation, and they are loud. And it's not just a noise. There's a physical pressure wave. A lot of people keep mentioning that they feel it.
They feel it. The windows rattle. The car alarms go off.
Yeah. So again, a very low frequency sound, and the explanations are crap.
Yeah, they really are.
Like there was one where they talked to a scientist. He goes, oh, no, these are perfectly normal. No, they're fucking not, because no one ever hears the entire sky make a spooky sound. I hate that right off the bat, where he's like, and like the video they have of him, he's like going through papers and checking off a spreadsheet. Oh, it's perfectly normal. No, that's not normal. No. And the minute you say that, I already think you're full of shit and have no idea what you're saying. But then he goes on to just ramble. He's like, well,
here's a scientific term that you probably don't know.
In the upper atmosphere, there's all sorts of interactions, and it's easy to create a radio signal, and we all are emitting radio waves ourselves, and it's very easy for all of us. I mean, the planet makes its own sounds. There are many different ways to interpret radio data. I have an appointment now. Goodbye.
The frequency of the megahertz oscillates at a frequency that's not megahertz to listen to.
Here's the thing. It's insulting, and the guy clearly was just waffling. He had no idea what he was talking about, and because he didn't know what it was. And you know what? That doesn't mean that like he was hiding anything. It just means that he wasn't a strong enough person when the cameras show up. Yeah, exactly. It wasn't strong enough to say, I don't know.
Yeah, which is fine. We can say that. There is everything that we don't know.
It's perfectly normal is insulting, and I will now find him and slap him gently, but insultingly.
Okay. Now, the weird thing about these two, Not if they're not already deliciously weird enough for you. Not everybody hears them.
Oh, I didn't get that.
I found something where it says that there's a small part of the population that hears them, small part that doesn't.
Well, I think you're talking about the hum, which is close but not the same thing.
It could be that. Now there's a humming sound and the trumpet sound.
Because exactly. Because you're implying that there's car alarms going off and there's a guy sitting at his desk and wondering, wonder what that's all about.
Well, I mean, and it could be the research finally, running all together and mixing into the delta of my mind.
Because I did see them mention the hum, like hand in hand with this, but the hum is the thing that a lot of people don't hear, and some people do.
I just use geography.
I heard it. Mind delta.
Make a metaphor out of the God. That's where I'm at.
That's a T-shirt. The mind delta.
It's like right up my mouth, so nothing really gets filtered.
You know what lives in there? Honey Island mind monster.
Is that why I've got so many snickerballs in my mouth? So there's a hum. Mm-hmm. This is sort of a low frequency droning in the sky. It's reported by people, but not everybody. Yeah. It kind of sounds, they describe it as kind of like a refrigerator running, or maybe a car idling, an engine idling.
You can sometimes hear something like that from high voltage power lines.
Yeah, something like that. But then when any kind of local source that might be creating this, like farm equipment or mining equipment, or something that's nearby this community that's being affected, when that gets turned off or taken care of or fixed, they say they still hear it.
Yeah.
So that's a weird thing. But these trumpets, obviously, this is something completely different.
A whole order of magnitude. And keep in mind, these were heard all over the planet a lot of times, but a huge rash of them in early 2012. And people are thinking these are the trumpets that are mentioned in the Book of Revelation. That this is the heralding of the apocalypse.
Yep. The rapture is coming.
Right. Which
Gabriel is on his trumpet, just blowing away.
He's just tooting his little mind out.
Jesus is here, y'all.
But obviously none of those things happened. But it did create a lot of problems. And it's funny because when I was researching this, a huge amount of the links were to Christian websites.
Yep.
They were incorporating this into their message. And I did get some good scientific reasoning behind this. And man, take a moment. You just heard our sound clips, but just look on YouTube. And it's interesting because not only do you hear the sound, but you hear people's reaction to it. You hear how, you'll see like just people are just wandering out on the streets. It looks like a scene from a movie. Those early, before shit gets really bad and they know they have to like flee or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like those early moments of a disaster movie.
Yeah. And some people really vehemently claim that these are all hoaxes. They're all made up by people who are just either, I guess, wanting attention or wanting YouTube hits, maybe. I don't. Why would someone do this? I don't know. But you know what? Some of them, sure. I'll give you that. Some of them could be faked.
Yeah, maybe.
All of them, though? I don't know.
Yeah, there's news stories in other countries about it. I think it's a real phenomenon. I think it's really happening. And of course, there's the theory that it's a cloaked alien spaceship hovering above major metropolitan areas, checking it out.
Or like hovering above Devonshire, England. Or
right, yeah. Well, maybe they were like tired of cities. They saw a lot of Winnipeg, decided maybe we'll just check out Stonehenge.
Let's go to Liverpool next.
The explanation that I thought held the most water of them.
Well, let's go through a list of the explanations.
Go for it.
Could be electromagnetic noise emitted from auroras or the radiation belts, which is kind of what we just explained. Although how it gets, I guess it could somehow make itself audible to humans.
I think now what I heard in that regard is that there's a thing called the tropopause. It's the delineating layer of the troposphere, and that these high energy interactions up there can create pressure waves.
Okay.
And that this is a very low frequency sound, and if these two layers of our atmosphere are one of them is highly charged, they're moving against each other.
The friction causes the waves.
It's just like in the same way that thunder, you get a high energy source, lightning. It superheats the air around it. First of all, the lightning makes the noise. Also, it superheats the air around it,
expands the molecules,
and then when they all collapse again, when the air cools and refills that void, boom, sound.
Yeah.
And so again, you've got a huge, highly energized event, and so I think that holds water. I think that it's possible, and if it's a long, prolonged sort of event, you're going to get that groaning long
especially if it's a huge amount of air mass, which that far up, it wouldn't be hard to get. You know?
And it's very thin. There's not a lot of oxygen up there, but there is a lot of, that it's still within our atmosphere. And I think that makes sense that you get that slower groaning sound. What else we got on the list?
Interesting. Changes in the Earth's core, hearkening of a pole shift impending. We also have HAARP, which is the High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program. This is one that we'll probably touch on in a future podcast because there's a lot of debate about it, a lot of conspiracies surrounding this thing. It's a program or site for researching the ionosphere for technological enhancement in radio communications and surveillance, funded by the Navy, the Air Force, and the government. It includes a high-power radio frequency transmitter, which is used to excite areas of the ionosphere. Some people say, well, that's them experimenting with HAARP.
Testing
some kind of energy weapon, some exciting the ionosphere.
Maybe.
It could also be mind games that the government is playing on people.
Oh, I thought you meant the Foreigner album.
No, just legitimate mind games.
Okay. No, that's head games. My bad.
The government is playing on the 2012 and the Book of Revelation, religious eschatology.
Yeah, it's
playing on people's fears for some reason. That's something that's been thrown at the old dartboard. Tinnitus. People having only certain
mass
people
tinnitus
having ear problems.
Like when I got a headache and I blasted that window out of its frame, or I can set off a car alarm because
and that's another dart, yo.
Jesus.
Could be the impending cetacean transformation.
That I'll give you. Whoever said that it's tinnitus actually knows what it really was. That's such a bad suggestion that they have to know what it really is.
Well, there was another one besides tinnitus that I didn't even write down that was like some kind of audio
bullets.
It's like some kind of audio headache kind of thing that only certain people experience. And I'm like, I didn't even write it down. Like, I wrote down tinnitus just to be a douche, but like,
because that's the kind of dick I am.
But like,
you're a f***ing asshole.
But I would not. I refuse to write down this other one, just because the sounds on here. It's not something in your head. You can tell what's in your head, and you can tell what's rattling the sky. You know what I mean? I don't know. Whatever.
What's in my head? Zombies. Thanks, Cranberries. Moving on.
So I think the scariest one on here would be the pole shift thing, the Earth core.
And that's been something we've been looking forward to for some time. I think we've even discussed that before.
Ugh.
Yeah, that's part of our
creepy.
It's part of our scientific eschatology.
Yeah, the old Apocalypse episode 1. I think we talked about it. Getting to where the Earth's inner core is starting to move at different speeds than some of the other parts of the inside of the Earth, and starting to create some pressure, some friction, maybe gearing up for a pole reversal.
I would imagine that would accompany more physical motion. I mean, as that moves from the core out, that would get amplified, wouldn't it? I don't know. I don't know about
the sound or the movement or what.
I've only seen the movie The Core like 6 times, so I don't. I just know that we can make a.
Can we call Hillary Swank? Does she know?
Everybody get on board my laser train to the center of the earth.
There weren't enough graboids in it for me.
No, not even one.
So, I mean, to me, that's the scariest thing, that is not out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah.
Some kind of groaning that is getting amplified up through the crust. I mean, it's kind of far-fetched, but at the same time, it's also like, well, if it is true, goo. If not that, then like you said, what about scraping air masses over us?
I think that's what if I have to pick one, I go with that. But it is just balls to bones spooky.
That it goes along with the whole sunspot activity, the coronal mass ejections that are going on.
They do line up.
Supposed to be peaking any time now.
Right. So, I mean, and those things, those events do line up to a lot of times of sunspot activity. Then you're sitting there, you're trying to watch the Jets play, and then it's... You're
like, hey, shut up!
F***ing sky. This sky right here.
The sun, what a mook, right?
This guy's making a bunch of noise here. This guy's going to get punched.
This guy over here. I finally caught up to you.
Yeah.
So that's some mysterious sounds for you.
Yeah. In an acoustic nutshell.
How about that?
I loved it. I thought this is a good one. This is Flora. This was your idea, and I loved it.
Well, listener suggestion brought us here.
You told me you came up with it, and only you did.
No, I was cooking it up, but somebody else added the meat in here. So.
Nice. Well, thank you. That was a great suggestion. Then.
Yeah.
Sorry, I tried to give Flora the thanks.
Yeah, me too.
Revoked.
Not again.
Wow. Well then, I guess the only one thing left to do here.
What's that?
Time to do a pun up, run up.
Oh, pun up, run up.
That's right.
Great. I got a couple.
Okay. All right. Why don't you take it off. Take it away.
So, sometimes you need to have your shingles replaced.
Right. Yeah.
And you're sitting there in your home, and all of a sudden you start hearing these loud booms.
Yeah.
And you wonder what is that? And then you remember, oh yeah, I've hired a company to replace those shingles, and they're called the mist roofers.
Oh man, I knew it was a race to get to who gets mist poofers first.
You let me go.
I did. It's my bad.
Mist roofers. The gentle booming of hammers in the sky.
Here in the U.S., fracking is a big deal. It's a big, very controversial thing. Cheap natural gas versus ecological problems. And so the National Council on Fracking has released a song about the most important part of the fracking process, which would be the frack sand. And this song is called Frack Sand. You need it to frack all the natural gas. Don't need no oil, 'cause we're gonna pump shit into your earth.
Frack sand.
Yeah.
You don't have to sell that oil for me.
We f***ed up your groundwater. Which it does. So yeah, there's one for you.
Awesome.
Frack sand.
I like it. It's better than mine. All right. I got another one here. This is an alien-themed restaurant. All right. That serves hot Asian buns. It's called the Bow Signal.
I love bao.
Bao are delicious.
Yeah, those are good.
If you don't know what bao are, take a moment to look them up and then salivate.
Yeah, they're good.
Hot Asian buns.
Yeah, little rice buns. They got some stuff in the middle sometimes.
Like teriyaki, chicken, beef.
Delicious.
Bao
right.
Signal. Frack sand. You'll hear our booming in the night.
I've got one. It's a Belgian wake-up service. Mr. Pooper's directionless loud noises. It's just a huge loud boom.
You're up.
Yeah. I don't even know what a Belgian accent would be.
Mr. Pooper.
Get up. I don't know. Like, I know two Belgian people. Jean-Claude Van Damme and the guy who does the spoken word not sung parts from the Lords of Acid. Remember that old techno group?
Nope. Sure don't.
Some of our listeners do. Those are the only two certified Belgians I could think of.
My girlfriend's Belgian.
Shut up. Well, she doesn't have any accent to speak of.
She doesn't have an accent, but no. Well, good round.
Good round. Well played. Well played.
Hey, we got listener puns.
Oh, thank God. Push play on the sound.
Play.
Yeah, now push stop. Oh, thank God. Some listener puns. Well, let's start this up. We've got some emails from a new listener. Our friend Scott.
Ooh,
he's got
Scott.
one. He's got a pun from one of our previous episodes. It's a board game where players compete to leverage control of real estate, utilities, and railroads into total world domination. It's called Illuminopoly.
Oh. Yeah. I get to be the all-seeing eyepiece. Yeah.
I am the staff of Horus.
I'm just money. I'm just a stack of money. Awesome. Thanks, Scott.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
That's awesome.
I'm also very proud to announce the return of Bob.
Oh, Bob the Painter?
Yep. Bringing it to us, Bob. Flora, why don't you let us know what he's got to say?
Bob says, there's another way to scare off the asswang. It's the Asswango Tango.
Ooh, dun 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 dun. I also it's really you can't hear it, but full points, Bob, for spelling it ass-wang to make sure.
I heard it.
He knows how it's pronounced, dude.
Bob knows what's up.
That's right, he does. That's right. Welcome back, Bob. We've missed you sorely.
Awesome. Also, I wanna bring this up. Got an email from listener Jennifer. Hey, Jen.
Wait, hold on. Hey, Jen. This is Dave Stecco. I just wanna let you know that I'm thinking about you, and I hope you're doing all right.
Guten Tag, Jen. This is the Tatzelworm. Just want to let
Jen,
you know.
No, run!
Want to let you know you all should leave. Auf Wiedersehen, Jen. So Jen actually writes in to back me up on a comment I made about toboggans.
Oh, yeah, the great hat debate that no one had.
Jen is apparently from Georgia and also called thermal hats toboggans.
Okay, then.
So f*** your face.
All right, my face can consider itself fully Thank you, Jen.
Thank you, Jen. No, I get to say thank you, Jen.
You don't get to say anything to her.
You shut your mouth.
I'm right and you're wrong. You go to hell.
Yes. So once again,
just to recap. Flora's up, Stecco's down.
Thank you guys for writing in so much, and thanks for the episode suggestions that we continue to get. They're awesome. We're gonna get to them.
We absolutely will. That ain't no jive. We've got some great shows coming up for the month of July.
That's right.
Some fun stuff coming up. We're gonna do something to help with your camping trips.
Yeah. We are gonna put a tool in your belt. We're going to put an arrow in your quiver.
Yep, and we're also going to help you never sleep well again.
Correct.
We also have something to keep your eyes awake while you try to sleep.
That's right. Dyatlov Pass, not enough.
Not enough. No.
We'll keep...
We're taking this one directly into your bedroom. Sorry, we're not sorry. Honk, honk.
Thank you guys for listening.
Thank you so much. And keep the suggestions coming. Let's get some puns going here. We're kind of in a pun drought.
Get us some puns going, people.
Come on. I know you guys are good at this. Unless you can't do it anymore. Is that what you're saying? It's just too much. You can't handle it.
Pressure got to you.
Bring the heat.
You know, that pressure is building up, and it's going to release in a huge sound. Your pun will be heard throughout the skies.
Like my boy Mikey.
Mikey, be your own bloop. If you're not already there, go to iTunes, subscribe to us, rate us. There's a star system.
Write a review. You know what? Not even about the podcast. Review us as human beings.
You know what? I don't know. Rate the podcast.
No. Put us in the seat of judgment. You are the arbitrator of our worth. Go forth.
Find us on Facebook.
Yeah.
You can find us now if you just type in Facebook.com/Blurry Photos Podcast, all one word.
Boom.
I fixed that.
Nice. Well done, techno nerd.
So go and like us on there, and go find us on StumbleUpon. Figure that out.
Yeah, once you figure that out, that'll be worth it.
You subscribe on YouTube. I've just been getting some new stuff on there. Well, new as in new to YouTube.
Yeah.
It's our old episodes finally.
Yeah, but you can have them on YouTube. That's fun.
We'll also be putting out some stuff on there soon.
Yeah, we got some plans.
Some stuff not podcast.
Something for the senses, visual.
Episodes. Yeah. Follow us on Twitter, blurry_photos. Easy peasy.
Yep. And look for us on the streets of Chicago. Be vigilant.
Yeah.
Because we're there all the time.
If you like us, best thing you can do, send us out in the world. Share us with...
Second best thing. First best thing, send us an envelope full of $100 bills. Second best thing, tell your friends.
Tell your friends. Let them know what's up.
I don't want to be a stickler, but I'm just saying if we're assigning number values,
if there's a hierarchy to be had.
So take the cheap option. Tell your friends about us.
And share us on your Facebooks and emails and all that stuff. That's a great way to help us out. Get us some more listenerships, and then we can get more people like Ken Hite on here.
Oh, man. There's no more people like Ken Hite. We hit all the home runs at once. The good news is he has agreed to come back into our lineup.
Yeah. He's
on our roster.
There's a ton more we can talk about. We
signed him to a lengthy multi-million-dollar contract.
But if you're friends with anybody else that's cool to talk to, let us know too. I
want to hear about your cool friends.
Anyway, for this episode of Blurry Photos, I am David. Laura.
And I'm David, the only human to be picked up by the Equatorial Pacific Oceanic Autonomous Hydrophone Array, STECO. You don't have to turn off the
Blurry Photos.
Yeah, I tricked you.
Blurry Photos flight controllers, listen up. Give me a go, no go for launch. Booster.
Go.
Retro.
Go.
Fido.
No go. I mean go.
Guidance.
Go.
Surgeon.
Go.
Ecom.
Go.
Mysteries.
Go.
GNC.
Go.
Unknown.
What?
Unknown.
Go.
Telmu.
Go.
Control.
Go.
Procedures.
Go.
This fucking list is long as shit.